Call to order the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency. Roll call.
Mr. Blevins, Mr. Hall,
Here.
Mr. Labatt,
Here.
Mr. McMahon,
Here.
Mr. Morrell, Mr. Reagan,
Here.
Mr. Staples.
Here. Public notice was stated September 20th, 2023. Public comment, any public comment? There being no public comment, do I hear a motion to approval of the minutes of
So
August
moved.
15th, 2023? It's been moved,
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Passes unanimously. Financial report. No, excuse me. We want to go to new business resolution. Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Development Authority of the North Country for Messina School of Business, DRI. Do I hear a motion?
Don't move. Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
So this is an agreement with us for services to move forward with the DRI project to redo the School of Business to, as you're aware, we received an award as part of their downtown revitalization initiative. We're gonna work with the Development Authority of the North Country. That's what the agreement in this resolution approves. As we worked with them on the JNL project, they have skills and expertise and are an ideal partner for this kind of project. We've had discussions with them, we've been to the site with them, and then we recommend working with them on this engagement.
Yes, would you clarify DRI?
Downtown Revitalization Initiative.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Nope. We got an abs-
Oh, abstention.
I will abstain as a member of the Development Authority Board.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, just a point of order.
Yes, sir.
We got a quorum of 4. Right?
Yes, we have a,
But when someone abstains, does that drop it back to 3 and then becomes no quorum?
You've got
Oh,
4.
I'm sorry, I forgot
Got
that.
5.
I forgot our
There
movie
you go.
started this day, okay. I just tried that, I was wondering, okay, it's a good pointer, and yeah, okay.
That's why Andy's
Lori.
got most appearance.
You sure?
Lori, let the record show I'm adjourning for my other call.
Have a
Thank you.
good day.
Nice to see you.
Great seeing all of you. Sorry I had to do this. Have a good day.
now we can go back.
We had financial report, yeah, financial report.
Okay, so you have July financials in your packet. June were also originally included, but we already approved those, so we're not gonna do those again. So for July, you have typical monthly expenditures, building expenses. We issued about $76,000 of ARPA expenses. We had work on the Benson Mines rail expense and the Benson Mines rail expense, part of that will come back as revenue. I think it's 90%, so that's. And also just wanted to let you know that on August 29th, we did receive the 90% of the ARPA money the county has asked us to administer. So we now have that money in our coffers to go ahead and expend, makes it a little easier. At the end, we'll get the remaining 10% after we submit all of our reporting.
Right, so what you're saying is the Benson Mines rail expense is all expense that we.
It'll be offset by a revenue line. Yeah, takes about 3 months for the revenue to come back in.
Just a question on this. We got some really,
That's for the IDA LDC meeting.
okay, I'm just happening to be looking at it right now, okay.
Yep.
There's some concern there.
Does anybody have any specific questions on the July financials?
Call the question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Committee reports? Yep. You have no committee reports, staff report. Dr. Kelly?
Yes, Air Products, we were at the school board meeting last Thursday evening. The school board approved the consent resolution for the pilot, Messina. The town of Messina has also approved their consent resolution. Our next step is we're gonna have a public hearing in October, and then we will bring the project to this board for your review and your decision. September 13th, and a nice note, Matt Whalen at High Peaks Winery was presented with the Rural Business of the Year Award by the New York State Small Business Development Center. As a reminder, we have an LDC loan with High Peaks Winery, a USDA equipment lease through the IDA, and a pilot. And I think it's interesting as we talk about Air Products, a $400 million project, and then in the next breath, High Peaks Winery, a startup with a couple of individuals. It kind of shows the breadth of the projects that we have underway. The 100 Patterson Street facility, we continue to move forward with this phase. We've got some roof warranty work that is underway as well on some of the roofs that have been worked on over the past couple of phases. Some change order work that we have underway that we will be bringing forward probably at the conclusion of the project. We typically have about a 5 to 10% contingency that we look at in projects like this. We're within that, but as we have found with a building of this vintage, as we're going through the different phases, things are adjusting along the way. And then we can do a visit in the facility and show you the progress if anybody's interested. Local outreach, just to give you a kind of a summary of some of the things that are going on. This evening at 5 o'clock, there's a Business in the Spotlight event at Applewood Orchards in Rensselaer Falls that we'll be attending. We sponsored a North Country Economic Development Fund loan for that project. That's the former Faubear's apple farm. We were at Bayside Grill in late August for another St. Lawrence County Chamber mixer event. We're trying to attend and sponsor and partner with as many of these different events as we can as a way of outreaching local businesses so they're aware of the programs and services we offer. There was a SUNY Canton tour last Tuesday where we had about 30 business officials representing different parts of the county there to see the capacity and the programs and the facilities. We've done this with the BOCES Vocational Center, so it was based on that model. Companies, we play a role as a bit of a clearinghouse, connecting the local employers with some of these resources that are here. So by seeing the facilities firsthand and hearing from the college officials about their programs, about their graduates, about the opportunities that these different institutions offer to our local employers, we're hoping to build connections and help the employers, help the college, help the students.
Is that like the trucking program we've been involved with?
That's one of the things that was highlighted, correct, yep. There is a similar event at the BOCES Southwest Tech Center, October 17th. SciTech did a workplace problem-solving workshop in this room last Tuesday with about a dozen local attendees, including, I think we had Bob and Lori participated in that program. Lori was at the Advocate Drum meeting in Governor a couple of weeks ago, talking about our workforce outreach with our Fort Drum partners. That's a group that focuses on the impact and relationship with Fort Drum and the greater region. We've been active with them, trying to connect transitioning and retiring soldiers to workforce opportunities into the greater community in St. Lawrence County as our role in the region. Out of the area outreach, Bob and Brian were at the Canadian Manufacturing and Technology Show, or are going to the Canadian Manufacturing and Technology Show in Toronto tomorrow. They were at the EPTech show in Montreal earlier this month, and they're going to be at the Advanced Design and Manufacturing Expo in Toronto in November, and the Select USA event in Montreal in December. We are also going to be hosting some officials from Empire State Development and New York State Ag and Markets, trying to showcase the potential for agribusiness development of St. Lawrence County. So we're going to show them some sites. We'll meet with them, show them our parks. One of the things we've tried to do is treat our state partners as one of our markets. We're trying to promote ourselves to Empire State Development, to the New York Power Authority, to NYSERDA. So as these entities are out undertaking their development activities, we're hopefully more top of mind than we might otherwise be. So this is a step in that process. We're doing that with our Drum Country business partners at Jefferson County, Lewis County, the Development Authority, and National Grid.
Top of mind.
Top of mind.
Very good. I like that.
That's an old marketing.
Yeah, top of
Slogan.
mind.
Yes.
Mind is a terrible thing to place.
Yes, worst thing to be on top of, probably. We have a St. Lawrence County Chamber Lunch and Learn event, which is a Zoom platform event, October 4th at noon. How to advertise job postings with the Department of Labor and the St. Lawrence County IDA. Our very own Lori Sibley will be presenting with the Department of Labor as we've transitioned Lori into the workforce development role. One of the things that we are trying to do, similar to building our network of connectivity with the colleges and BOCES and the companies, is make sure people understand the different resources that are out there for finding workers, which is a challenge for everybody. So we have our job postings that we manage. The Department of Labor has a process. Not every employer understands those avenues and knows how to utilize them. So this is one of these, it's lunchtime seminar, it's a webinar where people can join and they will learn from Lori and from the Department of Labor, with whom we're also, always building our relationship. The second heavy equipment operator class started at the BOCES Southwest Tech Center on September 12th. There is an IDA Academy that is being held November 9th in Lyons Falls. That is one of these events where you can go and learn and do your board member training. There's best practices, the ABO does presentations, the comptroller, there are some sessions on different activity. We are co-presenting with NYSERDA, one of our New York State partners, on solar development and on their Build Ready Solar program. So that's what we will send out information, but it's November 9th, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Three Willows Event Center in Lyons Falls, and we will get information to you. They've done some of these remotely, and I know some of you have participated in them before. Try to encourage, when they do things that are easier for us to get to in the region, participation. So we'll have some staff presence there, and if anybody's interested in going.
When is that?
November 9th.
Wednesday, November 9th. And finally, just an update for the rest of you that Ernie and Brian were reappointed to the IDA board for another 3-year term. So
Unanimously.
what's that?
Unanimously.
Unanimously.
But I'd like to thank Jim openly for the kind remarks he made about me and Brian. He really backed us and I appreciate it, Jim.
Did you write those, Ernie, or did I?
Thursday.
No, he.
Kind reminder. He did. I just wondered.
He's a writer, remember that.
That's right, that's right.
And that event is Thursday, November 9th at Lyons Falls, not Wednesday. Point of clarification. That is it for your staff report.
Patrick,
Yes, sir.
in your report, you mentioned BOCES multiple times.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, can confirm this, or talk about this, but I was told 70% of the high school students in St. Lawrence County participate in BOCES programs, which I found was incredible.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah,
Yeah, the number is more than half, and it's,
I believe,
yeah. I thought it was it's in the mid-60s to 70 sounds.
yeah, I was told 70%.
That's great.
I was stunned at that.
And
That's great.
And what we've seen at the vocational tours is just the range of programs, I think people think healthcare, cosmetology and auto body. And there's natural resource management, there's metalworking, there's, a real range of programs, culinary programs. There's a lot of different, activities that,
Preparation for the real world.
yes.
And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the programs at BOCES are preparatory for college. There's you they're in BOCES. BOCES does a great job introducing young people into the full range of the healthcare profession. And graphic design and a lot of other areas. And it's a very multifaceted programs, and a lot of parents really need to take a look at what BOCES has to offer, because it really offer kids a lot.
I went to high school in a different state. We didn't have a BOCES. I have a couple, 3 graduate degrees. I took shop when I was in high school because it was a practical course. BOCES is a practical education. Whether you're going to college or not, whatever, BOCES is the real deal.
Well, my granddaughter graduated this from BOCES, and she's now a freshman at SUNY Camp. She wants to become a teacher.
Right. There's a lot of real world stuff in BOCES.
But I remember, I took shop in high school too. Barely passed it. Like every other course I took, barely passed it.
Well, I learned the difference between a hammer and a saw. That's the end of the staff report.
Yes.
There's no old business, new business. We have 4 resolutions, one which we voted terrible. So do I hear a motion accepting
So moved.
fiscal year 2024 tentative budget?
Second.
Discussion.
So just to point out, you have a tentative budget that we have to approve at this meeting, and then at our October meeting, you have to approve your final budget for 2024. This is the first step. If you have review questions, if you have comments, obviously you can make them. You can bring them to our attention between the next meeting, and we can address issues in a final budget. But Kim, any highlights or anything you want to point out?
No, it's just, this is our best estimation of what these values should be. And we're gonna take the next month to adjust and fine tune them. So if there's any comments, any questions, just drop me an email and let's chat about it and get the best number at the end.
And we use the same process. We look at the expenditures year to date. We look at last year, we look at how we're doing to budget, and then we look at the different activities we know we have underway and where we think we might have, reasons to change things. And
We've done this for a few years.
yes, sir.
Yes. Call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Third resolution, authorizing allocations to the St. Lawrence County American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Economic Development Tourism Funding Program. Second, Royer?
Second.
Moved in second, discussion.
As you have done before, I would ask for an executive session to discuss the financial information of particular.
Don't we have to vote on this first before we go to executive session? We made a motion and it was seconded.
You can if you want, sure. I don't think it matters.
We're not gonna approve it before we discuss it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to vote on it until we have our discussion.
Well, are you telling me executive session has something to do with that resolution?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
Parliamentary, okay.
Moved and seconded, yes. Let's go to executive session.
you got to vote.
Should.
So moved.
You had the motion the second. You guys didn't vote yet, though.
It's all right.
I don't think.
Mr. Hall just voted.
You got to vote on going into the.
Yeah.
Okay.
To go into executive.
I was gonna say, not to move on this.
Right, just.
Right.
All in
Let's make
favor?
it legal. I withdraw my motion, accept, and then go to executive session, then we'll go back to this resolution. That's the way it should be done.
Okay. Let's do that. All in favor of going to executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Reporting in progress.
Second. Oh, I forget where. Hollywood.
Resolution authorizing allocation to St. Lawrence County
So moved, Brother Chairman.
American Rescue Act, ARPA, Economic Development and Tourism Funding Program. It has been moved and seconded. Discussion.
You have the exhibit with the recommendations of funding. It'll be appended to the resolution. Give a copy to Mr. Gardner before he leaves. And that's all our comment.
It is moved, seconded, and discussed. Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution authorizing an initial project resolution for BR Benson Mines Solar Project. What a motion.
So moved.
Seconded, discussion.
So we have been working with NYSERDA for some time on their Build Ready Solar program. The Build Ready Solar Program was developed by NYSERDA in New York State to help with the development of solar facilities on locations that might not otherwise be so readily developed. What they do is it's similar to almost a build now where there's a shovel-ready type of site for industrial development. This is for solar development. So NYSERDA reached out to us some time ago, looking for sites, and they're looking for brownfields, landfills, sites that are otherwise have some barriers to development that they could do some of the front end work in order to then develop the project and essentially shop it to a private developer who would come in and actually undertake the project. One of the locations that is, I think, very early in their queue, and it may still be the first one, is this project, the Benson Solar Project, BR Benson Mine Solar. This project resolution accepts their application. It spells out the process that we're going to go through with a public hearing, and then that we are going to bring a project recommendation back to you for project assistance that they can then put in their offering to the private developers that they then did this project out. So our next step, if you approve accepting the resolution, will then be, we'll reach out to the school district in the town of Clifton to do the pilot consent resolution process that we've gone through with all of our solar projects that we just went through with Air Products, so that we can then do the public hearing process and then bring to you a pilot that you will then be able, the contemplation is it would be approved and then be able to be transitioned directly to the developer as they're bidding on undertaking the actual project.
What's the size of the landmass?
The acreage is, I believe, around 75 to 100, I believe, maybe a little larger.
There's no specific people for it. This is just opening it up for bid.
Correct.
Open it up
They are going through some of the permitting process. They're going through the approval process with, for example, the APA and other parties. And then they will,
Find a company.
then they will bid, yes, they will essentially have a bid process where they, through the incentives they directly offer to try and get a company to come in and actually undertake the capital investment and operate the project.
Okay.
So, and I think this is,
Question,
the range is up to 20 megawatts is,
where does Kerwin fall in this, where he had the solar and they stopped it?
this is not related.
All right.
But where does that stand right now?
My understanding is the company that was not approved for the project is reevaluating and assessing what they're going to do. Whether they're going to try and move forward with a different project or whether no project at all. It's the ball's in their court.
It's the Florida company, right?
Correct.
With the Benson, whereabouts are they proposing to put the solar project?
On tailings piles that I'll defer to our local representative from that area.
South of Route 3.
So the tailings piles is my understanding. Is a surface that's, you can't farm it, you can't, it's a pretty much
It's waste material.
waste material that from the original mining operations and, in terms of a way of redeveloping land that is difficult to find other uses for, this is pretty much a perfect kind of
Absolutely.
location.
I thought those tailings were eventually going to be sold possibly or not. Trained out of there or,
This is one of multiple piles.
okay. So
But
there's a lot.
There's a lot of
piles down there. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this, at one time, Benson Mines was the world's largest open pit mine. So there's a lot
Good
there.
stuff. Okay, good. That's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's on land that wouldn't interfere with anything else. It's kind of off on the backside, the south side of Route 3.
It's always good.
Not real visible,
It's always good to work on the backside when you're dealing with.
Yes.
All right.
but it's not very visible. So
It's been moved, seconded.
The acreage is 111 acres.
And,
Good. It is-
because there's a lot of opposition developing around the county on solar on productive farmland. And this is,
Non-productive farming.
this is the exact opposite of productive farmland. This is land that has, you know, very few other uses.
It's industrial land.
Yeah.
This resolution has been moved and seconded and discussed. All in favor? Call.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Any need?
No need for an executive session again, no, sir.
Do I hear a motion for adjournment? We're adjourned.